Hi, Grandma Debbie here. So today's Veterans Day, and I want to send out a great big thank you to all the brave men and women that have put on their uniform to defend my rights to be free. I just can't tell you how much I appreciate that, and I want to thank them. And so, I'm encouraging you, if you see a veteran, just to stop by and say thanks. We appreciate it. So, my dad was in the Army, and my husband's dad was in the Navy. Now, his dad retired. My dad, unfortunately, did not retire. He actually died while he was in uniform. I was 3.5 when he died, so I don't remember a whole lot about him. I do remember his funeral as though it happened yesterday, and I wish I had more memories of him. I have memories, or I've been told stories from family members. I have a few of his belongings, but I wish that I'd have known him a little bit better. But, life happens and things change, and I had no control over it. So, but in honor of them, I'm making Navy potatoes and Army SOS creamed ground beef. Now, think about what SOS stands for. Not what you think sometimes. But that's what I'm going to make today in honor of our dads and for their service. So I want to bring you along. So let's get going on this. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to work on our Navy potatoes. So we need to peel them. So the recipe calls for 6 large. I just bought a bag of potatoes. I didn't buy large. And I don't even know really what constitute a large potato. Is it a baking potato? I don't know. So it just depends on what you consider large. So we're going to peel these. Now this recipe is a little bit on the long side as far as time goes. So we're going to get these peeled up, and then we're going to put them in water. Well, we're going to chop them first. So you're going to I can't even speak. You are going to chop them into wedges. Okay, so now that we've got them peeled, we're going to cut them into wedges. Okay, so I'm going to rinse these off. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So I've covered them in water. And so now these are going to go into the refrigerator, and they're going to sit there for an hour. So I will bring you back in an hour. Okay, so it's been an hour. And so what we're going to do is we're going to, I've got my oven preheating to 450. So I'm going to add some salt. This is 2 cups of flour. I'm going to add some pepper. And the recipe actually gives exact measurements. Or no, it doesn't. It just says to taste. I apologize. So do it to whatever you think is right. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our potatoes, and I'm going to do a couple at a time. Now, I also have a sheet of what do you call it? A cookie sheet. All right. Oh, I'm going to have to change that up. That's not going to work. I need to get it in a bowl. I melted a cube of butter. So let me get a bowl. All right, that'll be easier. All right, so you're just going to dredge each piece of the potato in to the flour. And I'm just going to do a couple pieces at a time. And then you're going to put them on a cookie sheet. And we're going to bake them for about a half hour to 40 minutes. Now, as I mentioned, my father-in-law was in the Navy. I never actually got to meet him. He, for some reason, was not able to attend our wedding, so I didn't get to meet him. However, we had planned a vacation right before he actually passed away, and I was going to get to meet him then, but unfortunately, he had passed away, so I didn't get to meet him. I heard that he was a wonderful man, and judging from my husband, who I think is a wonderful man, and I've heard that he is a lot like his father, I could just imagine that his dad was amazing. I heard that he had a great sense of humor. My husband has a wonderful sense of humor. Wow, the butter is getting cold and hard to deal with. I don't know how many more potatoes I'm going to be able to get out of that butter. So I might have to melt a little bit more butter to get all the potatoes done. I think I'm going to do that. All right, I will be right back. I'm going to melt some more butter. Let's just get as much butter out of this as we can. I mean, it gets really sticky. And thickens up. All right, let me grab the butter. I may have done too many potatoes. Oh well, that happens. Well, maybe not. I've got 2 potatoes left. Okay, and my hands are covered in flour. Well, one hand is because I'm using it for everything. All right, so these are going to go into the oven for 35 to 40 minutes. So I'm going to wash my hands. I'm going to get them in the oven, and we'll head on to the next thing. Okay, now we're heading on to the Army portion of tonight's dinner. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to chop up an onion. Maybe. This is a huge onion, so I'm not doing the whole onion. I'm only going to do maybe a fourth of it because, like I said, it's huge. So there's no reason to do the whole onion. Now, the recipe does not call for onion. However, I felt like it needed a little something. Whew. And this is potent. So I guess it's a good thing you're not seeing me because I've got tears in my eyes. Well, maybe I will do half of it. No, I don't think so. I think I'm only going to do the fourth. And I'll save the rest for something else. Because that's a lot of onion. Ooh, man, I got tears coming out of my eyes, guys. All right. Well, maybe I'll do a little more. Okay. So we're going to head over to the other side of the kitchen. After my eyes start watering, and we're going to get going on the next part. I'm going to wash my hands. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to brown up our hamburger. Calls for a pound of hamburger. Now, I did get my water going for noodles. I'm going to be serving this with egg noodles. Okay, I probably should have done the onions and mushrooms first, just looking at the recipe. So I'm going to change it up a little bit here. I'm just going to take the hamburger out, move it off to the side in another dish. Oh, and then I'm going to dump it all over the kitchen. And we're going to do, let me try and get that out of there. And we're going to do the onions and the mushrooms first. So I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil to the pan. I'm going to turn it on. And then I'm going to get my onions. And once again, as I said, this is not part of the recipe. I just was looking at the recipe thinking, that is extremely bland. I would like something else in there. So that's when I decided to do onions and mushrooms. We're going to let these cook until they cook down a little bit. And I like a little chunky onion sometimes. So if you're wondering why they're so big, it's because of my taste. Once again, you do it your way. If you want to make them smaller, make them smaller. It's up to you. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and add the mushrooms. Whoops, I'm dropping them on the floor. Wouldn't be a cooking show if I didn't make a huge mess. If you guys had seen me earlier, I got flour all over myself. Oh, the smells are absolutely delicious. I love sauteed onions and mushrooms. Now these mushrooms are not giving off a lot of water like they usually do. That's so weird. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of move this off to the side, re-add the hamburger, and keep on cooking. And you can serve this over rice, you can serve it over bread or toast, you can serve it over whatever you want, or you don't even have to serve it over anything. I am serving it, like I said, over noodles, but you can serve it over rice or toast. Whenever my mom made anything like this, she always served it over toast. And you just want to cook the meat until it's no longer pink. And just about there. Can you imagine cooking this for a couple hundred military Army vets or Army personnel? Could you imagine doing that? I can't. That's a lot of work. I give them credit for it. Okay, so the meat is no longer pink. So now we're going to turn this down a little bit. And I need to check my recipe. All right, so we're going to stir in a quarter cup of flour. And I've already measured it out, so we're going to just stir this in. And we're going to stir this. Oh, and then we're going to add in the bouillon. So we're doing a one bouillon cube. Well, I don't use bouillons. I use this. So it's 1 teaspoon. I just think it tastes so much better. And by this, I mean better than bouillon. And then we're going to add in a fourth of Worcestershire sauce, fourth of a teaspoon. And I'm going to turn that down just a tad bit more. And do we add in, then we're going to add in salt and pepper to taste. All right, so we're going to mix this up. So we're really starting to smell good, guys. We're going to mix this until, I don't know how long. We're going to saute this for about 5 minutes or until all the flour is gone. And it's getting really thick. And then we're going to add in 2 1/4 cups of milk. And I need to measure out the milk. So I'm just going to let this sit here. And I'm going to go measure out the milk. Okay, so now we're going to slowly turn or stir in the milk. So we're just going to do it slowly. Well, I dumped it instead. It'll be fine. So with the flour, it will start thickening up. And we're going to let this cook until it thickens. And during this process, you want to stir constantly so that it doesn't burn or scald. You can tell it's starting to thicken up. When you go like this, it just, you can see when you're scraping the pan. Whoops, then I just splattered it all over the kitchen. And this is thickening up quite nice. So I'm just going to turn it off because my noodles aren't even done yet. I'm just going to turn it off and I'm going to put a lid on it. And I'm just going to let it sit here. All right, so I will bring you back. Okay, so the potatoes are out of the oven. Now you can melt some more butter if you want to dip it in. I'm not going to, but you can do that if you want to. I'm just going to serve them as is. I'm going to let them cool off for a few minutes because they're super hot. So, but they smell wonderful and I can't wait to bite into them. So I just want to thank you for coming along with me on this journey. It's been fun. These are some interesting recipes. Like I said, I didn't change the potato recipe at all, the Navy potatoes. I did change the Army SOS. I added onions and mushrooms, but I kept everything else the same because I just felt it was a little bland if I didn't add those things. But, you know, once again, it's your recipe. Make it your own. Do whatever you want to do with it. Add other ingredients if you want to. It's up to you. But I also want to thank all of the men and women who have put on a uniform and gone to work every day for my and my family's security and safety and our freedoms here in the United States. I just want to thank them. I can't thank them enough. And I also want to thank my husband's father and my father, because they both wore a uniform and they both proudly served, one in the Navy and one in the Army. All right, so I hope that you have an amazing day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.